Okay, so we got a new set coming out next week, and I want to get kind of weird this week. I want to kind of stretch the limits of what we've been doing. I want to get weird. I want to try a lot of like crazy stuff. This is kind of my current stated goal for this week on twitch.tv/aspiringspike. And we're definitely doing that here today. You know, we've played Keruga in Lotus Field like exactly one time, and we 4-1'd. One issue I found was like really like the Leyline Binding mana base. But lately I have been finding myself like logging to play the old school Lotus Field decks, like just like the playing like the Fury, Solitude, Blood Sun plan just seems like it would be so good right now. Obviously you don't have Fury anymore, so we've kind of like we played like a blue-red build the other day that didn't go that well. But I wanted to kind of circle back to the Jeskai build. Getting access to Solitude is just like, so key in these decks. And Solitude is like one of the most underplayed cards in the format at the moment, too. And it's kind of like a similar formula as we were playing Solitude and Subtlety instead of Solitude and Fury. Opting to register Keruga as a companion instead of playing Ephemerate, Chalice of the Void, or Cleansing Wildfire. And you also really get to kind of easily play Leyline Binding since you can't play actual fetch lands with Blood Sun, like that's a big dombo, so you usually don't want to play Leyline Binding in Lotus Field, but if you play Lrien Revealed and Eagles, you can. And with all these pitch cards, these cards are really nice also, and they're also like super hard casted with the Lotus Fields. They end up fitting, I think, really, really well into the deck. And the deck also kind of got like this nice new tool where Tidebinder can both, of course, be a excellent modern staple, but you also have the added upside of countering your own Lotus Field sack ability sometime to use this as a ramp spell. It's kind of weird to be registering Teferi, Hero of Dominaria in 2024. I feel like I've even been shit-talking this card some, but I think I would you need to have like a lot of top end in this deck, and I do think Teferi Hero is still the best option. I think it's even better than the Ring in this deck, where we have so many pitch spells. The fact that this pitches to both your cards is really big deal. When your expensive cards pitch to your pitch spells, it's like kind of exactly where you want to be. And of course, like untapping Lotus Field, having like Tidebinder up, having Deluge up, having Subtlety up, having Solitude up, just seems like exactly where you want to be. And I've been liking it so far. I'm playing 3 copies at the moment. Thinking about main decking some Norns. I think I'm happy enough with them in the sideboard at the moment. Let's get going. Yeah, Rip Cryptic Command. Thoughts on Show and Tell and Timeless? I'm excited to try it. I think it's probably the most exciting thing coming to Timeless. Okay, so we're going to lead on Sacred Foundry, and we can Lrien Revealed for a Zagoth Triome to have Domain if we don't need to use Dead Gone on turn 1. Yeah, it's probably the most exciting card coming to Timeless. I don't know. That's it. I'm excited to cast it. I don't think that it'll likely be super good, but we'll see, though. You bring Modern Cascade Delirium. I guess. I've started at least, and it doesn't look great at the moment, to be honest. Looks like significantly worse than normal Living End, which is maybe like kind of to be expected, but I'm trying to fit, like the one I really like the Descend card. Like the at least like that card I think is like really good if you're turning it on consistently, and this deck kind of does seem like the way to do that. So I don't know. I started to build it. I kind of thought tentatively as like the backup deck to the backup deck. We could try to brew that today. I kind of have like in a shell like the cards I would maybe like to play, if that makes sense. Okay. So ideally I'd like to Tidebinder this Lotus Field next turn. My opponent looks like they're just playing Grixis Control, so I think I'll just kind of spin this turn to Keruga. What is how you play? It's a Magic Accessories company that I like a lot. I met the owner in Atlanta, and he's super cool, and he gave me like a little presentation of the product, and I was really impressed. So we set up a little affiliate code. They have like a curved sleeve, so you don't like they shuffle better. You don't mark your cards while you're shuffling. And I would always like kind of like ding my hands over the course of a weekend, and like I think that limits that some. And they got boxes, they got playmat stuff. They got a lot going on. Well, opponent not putting up a lot of a fight here. Happy to be able to proactively play this Tidebinder. Get a removal spell, Bowmaster. Eat it. Deal. Take that. Kind of a 3 for 1. Any good reason that to play the Girls from Breach deck? I really loved it. I mean, I think I still like that deck. I've been really stuck on it. Like that deck was a big hit, I think, in the previous environment, and I've been just like not really super able, I feel, to figure out exactly where I want to be with the list. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. I kind of like. I've been like playing with Swift Spear a little bit and over Ragavan and having mixed feelings. Okay, opponents go to discard. It seems. Oh, maybe not. Main phase bolts me. I guess against a main phase bolts, let's just go ahead and resolve a Solitude, maybe untap and just draw one with Keruga. Have I considered Silver Smoke Ghoul for Asmodex? I think we've bounced around the idea a little bit. I even think maybe Doom played with some Silver Smoke Ghouls, like way back in the day. Okay, we could also bounce like a Keruga or a Solitude in response to a removal spell. Yeah, I'll try to get an update on the Ghoul deck. I've been pretty stuck on it though. Eagles, baby. Yeah, these cards are so good in the deck. It's just like they're super hard castable. They pitch to your other cards, and they let you like actually get Domain online for Leyline Binding in a deck that can't play fetch lands. They put Stern Scolding in the graveyard, and they concede. Okay, not a huge resistance put up here. Let me cut these Dead Gons for disputes, probably. Bosses you don't control? Oh, right. Okay. I haven't played a ton with Dead Gon. Oopsie doopsie. I'm going to play some number of Force of Negation for Ring. We also have Tidebinder and Leyline Binding, so it's not like we're like super low on answers. Let's try this. Captain Storm plus Bobble plus Ragavan over Deersea. It gives Captain Storm the like pirate attack, make a treasure, or like exile top card of your library. Seems odd to like play Bobble and then play Ragavan over Deersea, but I guess that would be the reason to get the triggers there. There's also a 2-mana. There's a 2-mana goblin that on your end step, if you've descended, you make a treasure token. And I think that card is like pretty good. But I've been like really struggling to find like a place I would play it. But I do like really like that card, and I've been super stuck on it. It's Sacred Foundry here, maybe? Oh, you know what? Sorry, I was thinking I had Subtlety Ragavan, then I have 6 of it. Yeah, Enterprising Scalawag. That card I think is a sleeper. I probably need to wait for some like the new goblins to come out though. I guess I'll get Raugrin Triome now. Can't ice if I draw ice, which kind of stinks. But I want Binding to be alive, especially if I'm missing like a land drop or two. You could play Discontinuity. I think that card is kind of weak, but I understand why you'd want to play it, of course. So would I Subtlety a Bowmasters? I don't think I can. Maybe I should. It's kind of close. Yeah, I think we probably should. I hope to draw a land, be able to Blood Sun. Obviously, if they flash the Bowmasters and ping me, it's kind of a pain, but at least like the Blood Sun is resolving. That makes sense. They do keep the Bowmasters on top. Plays Mutavault. I don't really like Mutavault very much in these Grixis lists. I think it's a bit better than the 2-color mana bases. Not the end of the world though. Also, probably poor sequencing to Bowmaster before Preordain, unless they like felt like they wanted to have like counter magic up. I did get lucky enough to draw a land here. And no Force of Negation, Mutavault, no activated abilities. Your fetch lands turned off. Next turn I can go Teferi, Hero of Dominaria into Memory Deluge. Although, you know, Orcish Bowmaster in play. Not quite able to kill Teferi by itself. Maybe I'll just Deluge. Kind of insane that Modern is so slow a deck with only CMC 3 cards may be viable. I mean, this deck is not a deck with only CMC 3 cards or mana value 3 cards, whatever. It's mana value 0, 0, 1, 1, 2. It's like these are all 0, 1, and 2 mana spells. I think you have 8 3-drops and then 7 card advantage spells. So main phase draw 2. Trying to hit the land drop maybe. Still quite a slow deck. Yeah, I mean, this is a control deck for sure. I agree. I agree a slow deck, but to say this is a deck with only mana value 3 cards is, I think, a little inaccurate. I don't know if that's the right word. Tidebinder. So I kind of like being able to maybe Tidebinder the Bowmaster trigger next turn. I guess they can actually start ping the Teferi and attack. Well, they decided to just target me here. Yeah, maybe I'll try to go Tidebinder block. We could Subtlety a second Bowmaster. I think I'm just chilling, though. Do you think a deck built around Enigma Jewel and turn 2 Stonebrain has a place in the meta? That can't be, like, your whole plan, I think. Stonebrain's okay, though. Like, those kind of effects I do think are okay at the moment, but... Like, you could play, like, the Enigma Jewel Tron deck, and I probably wouldn't main deck any Stonebrains. Stonebrain is probably just not a main deckable card. Using all the lands you need for Leyline. Yeah, we have Eagles, yeah, Eagles and Lrien Revealed for, like, the land grabbers. Interesting attack here. I think I'll go just cast Subtlety. Kind of weird that they pinged me with the Bowmaster trigger, and then they kind of switched their brakes a little bit and decided to attack the Teferi with this. I think what they're trying to do, and they're just realizing what this card says, I think they're trying to animate Mutavault into a wizard, crack this fetch land, and cast Flame of Anor, but they can't do this, or they can't do, and they can't do that. But they can cast Flame of Anor to kill my Subtlety. Okay, got nice read there. So now I think we're gonna go plus the Teferi, Tidebinder the Bowmaster, then go from there. Unless we draw. Not sure exactly what else. Maybe dead. Maybe that. Maybe that. Although I feel like I would rather. Well, I guess it's nice that I can block the Orc Army kind of cleanly with this, and I could like Tidebinder a Bowmaster ETB trigger. Okay, so we've got only 6 mana up, so we can't quite double spell. It's okay though. Teferi still doing work, 2024. We'll just Tidebinder this. Yeah, the tap lands come into play untapped are always so... Feels so weird. Bloodstone is just such a crazy card. Take the Dispute. I think we'll go Dispute Deluge, probably. Seems like if we just bury them in a sea of Deluge, like what are they ever going to do here? Naz with the 4 months, think welcome back. Any ETN MK PowerPoint? Yeah, I had some technical issues this weekend. I have to like re-record everything, but it shouldn't be as bad the second time around. I'm gonna try to get it done tonight, but just like no promises. Like, you know, we'll see. As soon as I can. I think why not? Just go ahead and trade here. What the best deck is in currently modern, or I think there's any lesser known decks that are well positioned. I think there's some lesser known decks that are okay. For the most part, like it's like I would say like I kind of, if I was gonna play a tournament, I feel like I'd play Yogg or Amulet Titan. Followed by like I don't know, Rakdos and Rhinos are like the other like reasonable choice, and I think Murktide is an okay choice too. About as good as it ever is, you know. And beyond that, like there's like a few kind of like obscure, you know, kind of decks that we like to play on the channel. They're okay. I think like the Jeskai Wizards deck is pretty good. I think the Mardu Convoke deck is probably a little underrated. I think that we're gonna play some more of it. I think the Convoke deck is maybe a big sleeper, despite our tournament going pretty poorly this weekend. I think we also had just a couple of rough like matches in a row too. There's a lot going on in the format. Kind of like there always is, I guess. Tick for Cam. Breakout plus Dreadhorde is the new Splinter Twin. I hope so, huh? So I'll probably discard Island Teferi if they don't do anything, and I'm happy enough with them not doing anything. Updated state of Modern. Okay, Breakout. Okay, Breakout plus Dreadhorde. You do not have enough creatures for Breakout. is my okay? We'll just show them our hand so they can concede. I think. You do not have enough creatures for Breakout. You're not super far away. I think 24 is the minimum. Is my current numbers here. So like let's just say we have 19. And I have here, and I'm not even like super happy with these numbers. But if you have 24, you're 96% to hit a creature a 2-mana creature off Breakout. One thing that would really help also is you're already an NT Death Shadow deck. If you play Street Wraith, they did Thoughtseize Concede. If you play Street Wraith, like this is at least something you can put into your hand to give you like closer to the density of hits, but you're still not enough. But let's break up the Hyper Geometric Calculator. Super important tool for these kind of cards like Breakout. So you have a population size of 59 because your Breakout isn't on the stack. Number of successes, you have 19. Sample size 6. Number of successes in the sample 1. So if you calculate this, you're like a little less than 9% to brick when you cast Breakthrough, which is that number is that number ain't high enough. You know what I mean? I also really tend to favor Lightning Bolt over Fatal Push in Dreadhorde Arcanist decks because you just always have a target for that one. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go ahead and put back probably the Eagles, number 2. Oh, sorry, I can't get Zagoth Triome to Binding on turn 2. I can get Abzan Triome. Yeah, I guess I'm going to put back the Deluge so that I can try to fix my mana a little bit better. So, that's the issue. Oh, you have Witch's Cottage to set up the Breakout. I don't love this, but I see your heart is in the right place for sure. Still, numbers, math ain't mathin'. And this is the problem with Breakout. The math ain't mathin'. Okay, will we draw a dead? Wow, we did draw a dead. Holy shit. Whitelisted today. Cardless summoning with the new Delny. Maybe I like the idea of that a lot for sure. I've mostly been wanting to play Delny in humans, just like kind of normal as humans, but I like the thought there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a basic planes here, with the intention to cast Bloodsun next turn. We'll see if we get mooned. You can break out Asmo. You can, yeah. So you could try that, and you can also like put Oval Chase Daredevil into your hand off of it, which is kind of something too. After you draw your first hand, your population size is actually 53. No, you can't. This is flawed logic because you just don't know what the distribution of like creatures to non-creatures are in those 7. You know you're never gonna have to count the breakout itself, but you can't just say the population size is 53 and then count and say the number of hits is like really high. That is I just not accurate or not the way you're supposed to do it, I think. So we're gonna take 2 down to 15. Then we're gonna trigger bloods. We're gonna go shock down to 13. Then this is gonna put me down to 12, and then they can attack me for 6 down to 6. But we're in pretty good shape to stabilize. Should them not have like a great follow up this turn, or like depending on what we draw. Cause Ice dead gone. A lot of removal. Kind of our whole deck. Ooh, we did draw the Solitude. I should probably use it this turn. I think I should use it on the Voidwalker now. This way, my Deluge isn't getting exiled, and then I don't let my opponent like sack the Voidwalker or scam it, and then sack it. What you're doing is a naive calculation for my investment. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other way to do it other than this. That's like I think this is definitely like the closest way to get the numbers. Is Breakout good with Shadow? Oh yeah, that's another thing is like if you like cast that shit on turn 2 and you hit a Death Shadow, it's like, well, you can't really put that into play, you know? Okay, we got Dead or yeah, Fire. There's a good chance they have a scam card. Why is the price of Warhammer plummeting? Will there be a ban coming? I don't know. Nobody knows anything. You know what I mean? There is just in these kind of I would not try to like figure out is there a ban coming. I think it's in Modern it's incredibly unlikely there would be a ban coming. The One Ring is only played in one of like the top 4 decks at the moment. I think a ban of the One Ring in Modern right now would like make nearly no sense. But I think maybe the price is going down because because it's not seeing that much play. Yeah, I don't feel so bad about solituding this Bowmaster since we just have like the Deluge flashback. We even get to go flashback Deluge with 2 mana up. We have Keruga still, got plenty of resources. Is Finale of Devastation just better than Breakout and Grow Food? Yeah, for sure. I don't think that Breakout is a good card. I straight up think Breakout will be unplayable in every constructed format. Like there's just like to get the numbers where you need them to be. Like this just doesn't look like a functioning Modern deck to me. To like you know, to play this many creatures is just so tough. So they're gonna scam again and then removal spell there, Bowmaster. Okay. So we get pinged down to 8, hit the hit for down for 3, down to 5, and they've got the Wicked Roll token. Looking kind of bad. They've got 2 cards in their hand. Interesting. So we go Keruga, cast Keruga, then I couldn't Tidebinder. Let's just Deluge. Oh no, I can't cast Binding. I was really thinking I would be very likely to hit a Fire, Ice, or Dead Gone here. Did not. We're dead. Goodbye. Wait, I was thinking earlier that Temporary Lockdown is like likely pretty good in this matchup. It only misses like it hits the Fable token and the treasures. It doesn't hit the Fable. It doesn't hit the Moons. It doesn't hit Grief. But then exiles Bowmaster tokens, Voidwalker, Ragavan, Wicked Roll. I wasn't sure how many I wanted to play though. But I was also thinking Tidebinders weren't so good, so I was kind of considering just like 3-1 in favor of Lockdown or 2-2. Let's try 3-1 for now, just to kind of get a bit of a feel for this. But we could try. Yeah, I played Lotus Field that turn. Could you take land and Binding and prayed for Tidebinder trades? No, I played Lotus Field that turn. Bio with the 24 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Happy 2 years. Yeah, I know. Fury would have been so sick in this deck right now. Is what it is, of course. Okay, let's keep this. I think I'm just going to lead on Raugrin Triome, so I can maybe pitch Lrien Revealed to Subtlety. Breakout puts the card in your hand if creature CMC is 3 or greater. Can we get the numbers up where they need to be with Evoke Elementals? I mean, so you don't have Fury in your Breakout deck, which would stink. Like if you had Fury, it'd be easier. But another thing too is it's like Breakout is just not such a strong card that you should build your deck shitty for it. You know what I mean? It only puts one. It's 2 mana to put a 2 mana value creature into play. I would just rather play more good 2 mana value creatures probably. Hey, on with the 43 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Does that make sense? Like it gives it haste. That's nice. It gives it a counter, right? But it's like, I'm not like so excited to like just warp my deck around this card. It's like it's 2 mana to put a 2 mana creature into place. 9 out of 10 times. I don't know. Like, maybe it could get there one day, you know what I mean? But I think it's like in our current environment, it's just we just don't got the tools. I'm gonna wait on the cycle here, but I'll probably just get basic planes so that I'm able to just kind of ignore moons for a little bit. Could even just still cast Leyline Binding if I have it. If my opponent plays Subtlety, or sorry, plays Dauthi Voidwalker, will I Subtlety here? I think yes is the answer. It seems difficult to just like have a Teferi in hand with a Voidwalker in play. You're banning Fury of Grief for 2 months after the fact. My opening can of worms. I mean, you're opening the same can of worms that everybody's sniffing. I mean, I think they should have banned Grief instead. I was in favor of banning Grief for a really, really long time over Fury, and everybody was being so obnoxious. Like, the majority of people wanted to ban Fury instead, and I was just... I remember, like, the week of, like, before the ban's like, fine. I was like, if they ban Fury, the best part about it would be people shutting up and never asking to ban Fury again. But I think the Grief ban would have been a lot better, and Modern is in a weird space at the moment. I think this is something we can all agree on. New set looks exciting. Lots of new stuff about to happen. Another thing too is like Modern gets like a little bit pressure cooked when there's a bunch of regional champs coming up. Like there's just like so much like grinding the top 4 to top 5 decks, and this is kind of like the reality of like any Modern environment is like basically no brew. Like your pet deck is just unlikely to be good against the top 4 or 5 decks in the format. And like I think that the leagues get like a lot more competitive during like this RC environment too, which I think is part of like the angst that people feel. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. People are bored. People are talking so much about bans and stuff, so they're thinking about griefing here to set up for their Voidwalker. Surveil lands as one of the Modern decks. Yeah, I think most decks with fetch lands will play it. I don't think Scam will play one. I think that they might. I think that they're like less likely to want it. Like I probably would not put one in Scam at the moment. I would maybe not play one in Yogg. They pitch Kroxa. Maybe they take Lrien Revealed. I'm so glad Furious banned to let all the creature decks run the format. Oh wait, that didn't happen. I mean, what even is a creature deck anymore? You know what I mean? It's like Yawgmoth is one of the best decks of the format. Yawgmoth is incredibly good. Yawgmoth is, by all accounts, like the ultimate creature deck. I would even say like there's a good chance it's the best deck in the format. Titan is one of the best decks in the format. Literally all of the top decks are full of creatures. It just kind of comes down to opinions on creature decks being free. It's like it's literally just humans. Everyone just loves this shitty humans deck. I think I'll go ahead and get another basic island here. Like I don't know, yeah. Literally every deck in Modern has like that's of the top decks has is just full of creatures. A deck with more creatures than not, probably. I don't know. Hey, what's up?
Nothing.
Just a hug. Thank you for the hug. I mean, Yawgmoth is definitely in that category of more creatures than not, right? It's a combo deck, not a creature deck. I mean, this is just actually Yawgmoth is a combo deck, not a creature deck. What are we talking about? What are we saying right now? Let's be. What is a creature deck then? It's a creature deck that can play Breakout, that just has 25 Tarmogoyfs, and then you can cast your Tarmogoyfs and turn them sideways. A creature deck is a deck with creatures that I like and I think is cool, and Yawgmoth is a shitty evil combo deck. Convoke deck was probably much worse. Yeah, I think the Convoke deck is a lot better. I agree. Humans, elves, merfolk. I mean, elves is like quietly okay, to be honest. We've been playing elves. We beat like Rakdos like 4 times in a row. I think elves is bad against Yogg. I think it's unfavored against Rhinos, but not like it's much better than now that Fury's gone. I think it's play Joel dependent against Titan. I think it's like kind of good against Murktide too. It's okay against Murktide. But that was not so bad. Yeah, there's also Scales. Scales is a super good creature deck. But I was also saying this like the whole time. People were like kind of begging for the Fury ban too. It's like you can ban Fury, but your creature deck, your elves, your humans, your merfolk, your whatever, your humans, they're just not as powerful as like Yogg and Scales. You know, like this is still the problem with these creature decks, is that your preferred creature deck is not as powerful as the creature decks you are like interested in playing. Maybe. Okay, do I take Binding or I think I'll take Fire Ice? The Lockdown looking nice here. You know what I mean? I was saying that like the whole time. And that's like it's really what's keeping your creature deck out of the format, is that it's just not as powerful as the more powerful creature decks, you know. Which is always going to be the case. But you could also play Keruga. Keruga Lotus Field. Yeah, maybe I don't know if we want the fourth one. Fourth one on the draw could be good. Not sure. Don't think I'm supposed to Subtlety this. They must have just drawn this return because they didn't respond to the ice. Hey, Mr. Sari, good to see ya. We had a good tournament weekend. His domains do not creature. Yeah, that deck's also pretty good too. I don't know. I think a lot of modern players' opinions are and sometimes feel like just disconnected from reality too, where like I think if you polled like the modern player base and like you asked like what card you think you should ban, Solitude would be like a top 3 card requested to ban, despite it seeing no play in any of like the top 5 decks. It's just like shit is just really weird right now. Archini with 945. Yeah, these RCs are getting so big and crazy. 945. Wow, that's so big for Europe too. Can't remember how big Atlanta was. I think it was like a little over 1,000, like 1,200. $1,200-ish. Yeah, that sounds about right. But also, like, what were the invites? Is it like 32 for US and 24 for Europe? Okay, let's Deluge. Teferi Sacred Foundry, Teferi Subtlety. Teferi Subtlety. 24 for Europe, cool. Thought Dallas was like 1300. Yeah, I can't remember. I did do well enough in Dallas to queue for the PT last time. I can't remember how big it was. Yeah, that lockdown looked great. 4 is a lot though. But we're on the draw, so like having this destabilized it seems super nice. You can pitch it sometimes too. No Flagstones. Yeah, it's so like with Flagstones are kind of tough to play with the Leyline Binding plus the like land cyclers for binding, and you also have Tidebinders like your redundancy to Lotus Field, and like that redundancy is really nice. And here we can go Sacred Foundry into Zagoth Triome into binding potentially, although we could also just try to lock down. Put us on a mold to 6 here. Solitude excelled my follow. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think Lockdown's great. It's like it's very good against Yogg. It's very good against Rhinos. And then like incidentally good against like Scam and Scales, these kind of decks. And then if you ever run into the last Hammer player, I guess that's Disgruntled Elk. That'd be very good against him too. Let's wait on the binding. I think there's a good chance my opponent will play like Fable this turn. We would go binding, clean up the token, clean up the Voidwalker. They could play another Voidwalker. So I think we could take 3. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just plan to get the love locked down here. Smart but Worthless, 28. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Very nice to just have, you know, double binding here, combining a moon effect too. Can lock down that Castle Lock Dwayne. My opponent discards just a Lightning Bolts. They like their hand. If they like their hand, they're probably hard casting Grief this turn, to be honest. Don't want a Binding Fable end of turn. Probably should have Binding Fable, yeah. I don't know why I didn't. Jabbins with 24 months. Thank you, welcome back. Should still be in pretty good shape here. They took Eagles, which almost certainly was the worst card to take. I don't really know why they would take that here. Although, I guess to make sure I draw one next turn. Good reason. So hoping to see you play a Bloodbrain Morale Living. And yeah, I was spent some time working on it. It doesn't look that good to me at the moment. It seems like I like the Descend card a lot. Like that card is kind of nice, and I kind of have like all the cards I would play, and it just doesn't look very good. So maybe I'll play test it. Maybe I'll figure out something. Like it's nice to be able to play Counterspell. It's nice to be able to like have like the persist for like scamming your griefs, but like I just don't feel like you can play as much interaction as like you kind of need to make the plan worth it. If they grief me here and they take my binding, oh, interesting. Is that why they took the Eagles? Yeah, so and it's also like in the legacy version, like your payoff being 2 mana is like way more important, I think, than like in modern where it's just like 2 versus 3 mana isn't like that big of a deal. Wonder if the Kavu is good for something like that. Maybe not like typically like super big Kavu fanboy necessarily. Guess I might leave Eagles in hand as like a pitch card for Solitude. Opponent's keeping the pressure up for sure. Nice that Deluge doesn't trigger Shieldred. Big part of the reason to play it over Ring. A little late to the party, Subtlety. But I suppose you can be welcome to the hand. Looking for Leyline Binding or Solitude mostly. Wow. Interesting. I think I'd take Lotus Field over Teferi. So let me flashback Deluge, hardcast Eagles potentially, and then I guess I also need to. I also probably just put Keruga into my hand instead of playing the Blood Sun. Can pitch Keruga if they like cast a Grief, or we can play Keruga and draw like 5 cards. Both outcomes seem pretty nice. Nice that they can't castle either. If they're like sandbagging a Bowmaster and they cast it in response to this Keruga, it'll be painful. Although I could draw a blue card for turn, I guess. Or land even. Okay, so pretty likely to be able to deal with that, I suppose. Think Insidious Roots would be good in Pioneer. Maybe. There's a good chance, I think. I think like you know, kind of simply put, I think it'll be good in Modern, so the chances of it being good in Pioneer feel pretty high. Okay, thank you for this free draw 5/4 that we got to play in our sideboard. Oh, okay. They don't even make me think about it. Steez, the 33 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the lockdown looks great. Could maybe main deck a lockdown. What exactly is the purpose of Eagles? Do we just have lots of Omen Mando Secrets? Yeah, Eagles do 3 things in this deck. So one, you're a deck that can't really afford to play fetch lands. But you really want to play Leyline Binding because you're a Keruga deck. So you get to play the land cyclers instead to be able to fix your domain for Leyline Binding. They also pitch to Solitude, which is super nice to do. And because you're a Lotus Field deck too, you also just have enough mana in enough cases that you're able to use them to just hard cast and close out games. So they're very good in the deck. They also draw cards if Keruga's in play. Say Asmo is my pet card. I like Asmo a lot. I think Asmo's a good enough card, and we've had like enough success with it to be like, I don't know if it's in pet card territory. It's also just like, I don't know, it's kind of simply, I don't have like a deep love for Asmo or anything. I'm just a brewer, and Asmo is a card with like tons of brew potential. Okay, so we're on a mold to 6, my opponent's on a mold to 5. What does the Fiend Artisan do in Asmo? Yeah, so in the Fiend Artisan, like Tyvar Shell, Artisan is cool because like you can just spend 0 mana and get an Asmo in play, or is it 1 mana? You 1 mana get an Asmo in play. And then, you're also probably playing Stitcher Supplier if you play that, so like your Fiend Artisans get really big, and your Suppliers can mill over Oval Chase Daredevils and Bloodghast. There's like a nice little overlap there. And if you're playing Tyvar is pretty good with Fiend Artisan, but I think there's a chance that like Insidious Roots replaces the Artisan and like that kind of shell. Is one of Touch the Spirit Realm too cute? I mean, so I don't know if Touch or Twinning Twins is better. They both kind of do the same thing, and they're both like pretty underpowered. So, I don't know. I don't know which one I'd play if I'd play one at all. So it's on a mold of 5, but they're playing Murktide. So probably should stay. Get Indatha Triome. And then I probably want to be trying to save this Tidebinder to try to counter my Lotus Field trigger. Like, it would be great to draw a land and go untap. I ice the land end of turn, so like to tap them out of counterspell. I guess a non-Lotus Field land. We do have a lot of lands in the deck. Land Cycler would work too. And that is a Land Cycler, and that works too. Awesome, Nate. Yeah, that Elesh Norn Lotus deck is pretty sick. I like it a lot. Nice to find like a new like good build for it after they banned my beans. Let me just draw here. Play around main deck. Moon. Else for Lotus is a combo. Isn't a combo. In this deck, it's a bit worse. In the other deck, you don't care. In the other deck, you just double your amulet triggers, and you go so crazy. It's like you don't care that you have to sack 4 lands. You probably don't have 4 lands in play anyways, but you like if you have 2 amulets and you play Lotus Field with Elesh Norn in play, you get 12 mana. It's like you just don't even care at that point. Yeah, but in this deck it's tough. In this deck, I think Elesh Norn is a nice sideboard like finisher against Titan. Like just being able to slam it and say that their deck is turned off is pretty nice. And then nobody's making you play play your Lotus Field if you have an Elesh Norn in play either. Unless I guess the Emrakul they could. What are they playing? They're playing like blue-red wizards. Fable to like copy Snapcaster Tidebinder seems kind of interesting. Yeah, it's just easy. Definitely just blue-red wizards. Can you stifle the first trigger? Fable just rendered useless? No, because Tidebinder only makes artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers useless after the stifle. So we have 8 mana next turn. It's a lot of mana. Got 4 cards in their hand. And 4 mana up. Playable Keruga Wizard with Tidebinder for Flame. I mean, in addition to Tidebinder. I don't really think so. I also don't know that, like, I'm dying for another 3-drop. You know what I mean? No, I guess, yeah, not too good in the Lotus Field deck, probably. Yeah, you can't really play Mutavault in your Binding deck, probably. I think I just fire first here. Yeah, is Twinning Twins a wizard? That would be like another point in favor of Twinning Twins. They kept 1 mana up earlier so they could have Spell Pierce, so I kind of like being able to cast this now. Let's take these 2. Just trying to think, how committed do I want to be to making Spell Pierce a blank card? Probably committed enough. Though I don't actually really like the idea of just main phasing a binding into a Tidebinder. Interesting. I think I'll still save the Lotus Field for when I find Bloodsun at this point. Yeah, I think Sleep Curse Fairy is, and I mean this word very literally. I think Sleep Curse Fairy is very mid. It's fine. It gets the job done. It is. There are just better cards to play. I think. There are more powerful cards you could put into your modern deck than Sleep Cursed Fairy. You know, I've been playing a good amount of like Wizard Shells too, and I really feel like 4 Tidebinder, 4 Snapcaster is just enough wizards. I don't feel like you have to put Mutavault in your deck, or you have to put Sleep Cursed Fairy in your deck, and you can just play good interactive cards if you want. There's someone who did really well with it at the Gins tournament though. Like Sleep Cursed Fairy is not awful. The card is like, it gets the job done, but it's probably, is it optimal is something I really question. Kebab with the 28 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back. You have 5 cards in their hand. I have tons of mana. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I just pass? Just have hardcast Subtlety, hardcast Solitude up. I think I just want to slam the Teferi. Anything this deck's burn matchup is probably poor. It was bad like back when you got to play Chalice, and we're not even playing Chalice anymore. Sleep Curse Fairy sideboarded Agatha's Soul Cauldron with no combo potential. That is interesting. We played Sleep Curse Fairy with Incubation Druid as a combo. I always thought that was kind of fun. Yeah, but sideboard Cauldron against Yawgmoth is like kind of sick. I don't know. Scales. You've been creativity this whole time? And you're just now telling me? So rude, opponent, to keep that from me for so long. Also, why do these just keep resolving? I should tap the Lotus Field. Listen, you don't have a counterspell and you're just letting Deluge flashback happen, right? I guess I don't really know anything anymore. Let's think. I have 9 mana, so much interaction. I think I just passed. Might probably discard Eagles. If their creativity 2 islands is wild. I mean, we haven't played any creatures yet. Wait, they're playing Flame in a creativity deck. Doesn't really make any sense, right? I don't know. Maybe they just like hard evidence. Gonna brew the green-black enchantment, keep coming back to Lotla Troll and Golgari Grave Trolls that you lost in the sauce. I mean, Lotla Troll seems like better with Oval Chase Daredevil for like that plan, or Bloodghast, but Troll's good. You can play it for sure. We're gonna be going so hard with the brews this new set. We're gonna do long streams. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna burn out all our decks in a week. Oh, they're shape anew. So what are they shape anewing into? Portal? This Portal with like our Tidebinder gets them. I think I should just use my 1 mana reactive spell here. Bolas the Citadel. Okay, so let's let this go. It is Portal. I'll go ahead and try to Tidebinder the trigger. I can start reanimating my Eagles, maybe. I guess maybe this is bad, because it just shouldn't be too tough for them to kill my Tidebinder, you know? They did have the Spell Pierce. So if they have Bolt, they can like reanimate an Eagles here. I think it's just kind of like something I'm not too worried about. I can take Gone maybe, and then if they reanimate an Eagles, I can bounce it back to my hand. But it's very weird to play Possess Portal in a deck like this with no creatures, it seems. Oh, I see what they're doing. They do have creatures. They're playing. They have creatures. They have Tidebinder. They have Snapcaster Mage, and they're playing Shape Anew so that they can play those creatures in a creativity style shell. Cool. We can get your Timeless deck list in the Mox Field to go. ! Decks. You can open all of them, dig through them a little bit. I like the Displacer Kitten deck a lot, and I like the Bant Uro list. And then the Channel deck was so fun. It was like kind of like the most fun deck I've ever played in my entire life. Do you opinion Murktide with or without Questing Druid? It's fine. It is a fine deck. I think it's like the 5th deck I would probably like be interested in for selecting for a tournament, something in that range. I guess I should have Subtlety this. We should still be fine though. They do get to unlock both their possessed portals, but I can just like tuck plus binding. I can binding and still get all my mana. Seems fine. Can also Keruga this turn. What the? I drew 3 bindings in a row? But I have played a ton of Murktide. Oh, do you think it's better with or without Druid? I would probably play no Druid. I think that Druid just doesn't play that well with counter spells. It's obviously like fine for you to play Questing Druid. It's like not an unreasonable card to include, but I'm not nearly as excited to play Questing Druid in a deck like that compared to like Prowess or the like the Shadow builds or like the blue red storm style deck. Sorry, the red green storm style deck. And I want to use the Solitude, I guess. Thinking maybe Dead Gonning instead. Okay, you turn. Oh, they slide an Inkwell. That'd be sick. Could sack our lands to our islands to Lotus. Okay, so we're gonna bring in Disputes for sure. Likely want like less than 0 Force of Negations. I think we can cut the Dead Gons pretty easy peasy. Solitude also, I guess the Subtlety is also probably kind of mid. I mean, they're okay against Tidebinder and Snapcaster, but I don't want to play 4. I also don't want to play 4 Solitudes. Maybe play 2/2, kind of like 3/3, 3/2 in favor of Subtlety. Play 3 Force. Is Questing Druid good enough with Breakthrough to get the hits up while also playing spells? Just show me a list that plays like 24 creatures and Breakthrough. You know what I mean? And you're just gonna have a ton of creatures in your deck's gonna be really slow, and you're not gonna be fast enough. You're not gonna have enough interaction, and your cards are gonna be, and your mana curve is gonna be bad. I just don't know. Breakthrough. I just am not that excited about. I think Breakthrough is maybe one of those cards that maybe gets there like post MH3 also. Like right now the math ain't mathing, but MH3 is going to be a big impactful set, and like maybe it will get there after MH3, but right now I don't think so. What about Norn versus them? Norn's probably pretty good. We'll play one. Let's play at least one. Maybe we'll cut it to Teferi for the second. Seems okay. The Shaman's deck, I think it had pretty close to 24 creatures. Are most of the good Shamans 3 mana, like Rage Forger and Seasoned Pyromancer? Like, I mean, obviously, like, you can brick and then put a 3-drop into your hand, but then, like, you cast... Your return was pretty bad when that happens. I do love Shamans, though, I tell you what. Dude, you can go like, Burning Tree Emissary into Breakthrough, into another Burning Tree Emissary, into another Breakthrough. If your deck is all Burning Tree Emissaries and Breakthrough, the card is pretty good. I mean, Dispute's just so good against them. Let's keep. What's on a Mold of 5 again? Turn 2 Hasty, Kavu, and Zoo. Listen, I don't doubt that there are going to be moments where like a turn 2 Hasty big boy is going to be good. The problem is your deck's going to have a bad mana curve, and you're going to brick on the card like between 5 and 10% of the time. Harmonic Prodigy plus Great Through into Burning Tree. Ooh, baby. Yeah, maybe Shamans would be a place to look at it. I certainly like love the idea. Like, I would love for that to be good. Love Shamans. I don't really feel like I need this Dispute up right now. I think I should have the luxury of getting Jeskai Triome. Well, I guess the Triome just doesn't really give me anything, if that makes sense, that I don't already have. I think I'll just play this tap, though. Again, there's just almost nothing I'd want to dispute that they'd play on their turn. Isn't it Breakout? Is it? People keep calling it Breakthrough. Okay, it is Breakout. Okay, that's the one. Damn. That was the one. Does Elesh cause you to sack 4 lands? Not if you have Bloodsun in play, but it does if you don't, so just either play this first, or play Bloodsun first, or don't play this if this is in play. And you will be fine. Okay, let's get another blue source here. If you're playing tapped anyway, why not Triumph? Because you can cycle the Triumphs later, these kind of games. Yeah, maybe it's better. But also, like, when you play tapped, you kind of send, like, more of a signal that you just don't have Dispute, and then your opponent, like, maybe jams their 4-drop a bit harder, if that makes sense. Or, like, sending those kind of signals in these kind of matchups. I'd probably overrate that a little bit, though, if you know what I mean. Like, put too much stock into it. Shadow, NT, Asthma, Wraith, Souls, Bowmaster's Cookbook, Breakthrough, Bloodghast. 8, 12, 16. That's 24. That's 24 plus 4 Breakthrough plus 4 Cookbook. That's 32. You have room for not a lot else. I think I should probably Deluge in response. If they counter, they're going to have maybe a harder time off this iteration. I can untap and slam something too, potentially. One thing is, like, Death Shadow is also not that good with Breakthrough, where if you cast Breakthrough on turn, or Breakout. If you cast Breakout on turn 2, your Death Shadow is just not gonna, just gonna die most of the time. If that's the card you hit, is another problem. But just wait till turn 3. I don't know. I think I have main phase a Deluge and then play a Lotus Field if this gets countered. Think about NT. Do you think Rakdos Headline? All Rakdos Headliner could be something. All Rakdos Headliner. I have no idea what you mean by this, but NT is a good card. All Rakdos Headliner. What does that mean? Let's pass back. Could play the other Lotus Field here. Be able to Norn if Dispute up. I think I want to be able to try to draw Bloodstone for like one more turn. Should maybe have disputed this. I feel like I just kind of want to use my Binding instead. This turn cycle. Disputes. I'm valuing the disputes so high against my opponent's shape a new deck. They see the Gen Assault Loam deck with NT. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Assault Loam NT decks that usually I see Slogurk piles. I don't know if I could visualize what the Jund build looks like, but the decks look super cool and fun. I'm glad that people are enjoying them a lot. Yeah, these disputes are just so insane against them. So draw an untapped land, we get to go Norn with Dispute up. Got punished for not playing my Lotus Field last turn. We'll just main phase this, then play Lotus Field. If they counter, that's okay. Have a force up for their shape anew. Leyline Binding may take some time to rebuild here. Rakdos Headliner. This is a card. 3/3 haste echo discard a card. 3/3 haste echo discard a card. And it seems like a little low power level for modern, but very cool card. I had no idea existed. Six mana land bindings. Well, we have 6 mana. Cyclone Ice. Yeah, I need to go to my friends' draft nights more often. It's been a little bit since I've been. I guess they have one tonight. I have to record my YouTube video. Okay, now we have Leyline Bindings in our hand. Are you happy? We have 6 mana still. I'll discard think of Binding here. I want to keep Bloodstone as a good draw. One land would be so nice. Should I play it, just run out of Solitude maybe? I kind of like that if they I didn't flip the blue. I guess I can't stop Subtlety anyways. But I don't have to go to discard if I draw another brick here. Just kind of trade 1 for 1 seems okay in this spot. Even if I'm spending 5 and they're spending just 1, it's not like I was going to use this mana otherwise. Okay, Tidebinder's nice. They might actually sack this Islet right now. We get to Tidebinder that. Maybe they would, I guess it wouldn't Snapcast or anything end of turn. They don't sack their Islet. They are valuing that mana. Now they're paying cost. They're playing Snapcaster Mage Golf. I'll try to Tidebinder this ETB. Then maybe I'll get to dispute a Flame of a Norn. Modern is just all Tidebinders and Snapcasters. All in Tidebinder the field. Seemed risky. Yeah, you can Tidebinder your own field. Like, yeah, Tidebinder obviously just a modern staple, super good card, but that is certainly part of the reason we're playing it in the deck. Ooh. Guess we play this first. Maybe they'll sack the Islet in response. But now we get to go float a blue. This seems like it's close to GG against them. They could like double burn spell. But this stops their Snapcaster ETB and their Tidebinder ETB and their I guess more importantly their Possessed Portal or whatever their portal is. I guess they could maybe just if they just have Flame of a Norn plus burn spell. This is GG's a little preemptive, huh? Why Basic Mountain? Yeah, good question. Thank you, Fluffy, for the 20 months. Almost got me. We can just 6-mana Leyline Binding, too. Them blocking with Snapcaster is great for me. Like, now their Flame of Anors are just, like, not nearly as good. And that's certainly, like, their best card they can have here, so I'm happy that they blocked. I also don't know how they're playing. How do they have Hard Evidence, Shape Anew... Hard Evidence, Shape Anew... Fable of the Mirrored Breaker, Expressive Iteration, Tidebinder, Snapcaster, like I don't know, and they must be playing like weird numbers, I think. Okay, so we can Flashback Deluge with Hardcast Force up. I don't even mind so much if I lose the fight, because I can just untap in Keruga and then double the Keruga triggers. Does Elesh Norn double Lotus Field ETB? It does, yeah, but if you have Bloodsun in play, there's no ETB. Yeah, I think I'd rather like do this and then untap in Keruga. So these cost 5 and I have 10, so I guess I just... I guess I'm doing this. We're fighting this fight. I have to tap my mana now. Okay, won the fight. 1 mana short of the flashback though. Magus also a wizard. The Deduce waiting room. Yeah, Deduce is pretty cool. Quad Lotus Field's in play. What is this deck really trying to do? I feel like I'm missing something. The whole deck feels too fair. Do you see that I've played 2 untapped lands that tap for 3 mana? This is pretty unfair. Miss Commander add to hand. You can't do it at instant speed. You know, it'll get done when it gets done. I'm trying. But I'm just one simple gamer trying to make some content. Yeah, but it'll be on the YouTube, yeah. On YouTube. YouTube.com/AspiringSpike. Trying to get to 1 million subscribers this week. Please help me out. We're using Caves and Confluence. Yeah, we played the Caves. We played Cosmic Confluence in one Timeless Amulet League, and I felt like it was kind of worse than other shells we had. We did 4-1, though, like the only league we tried. So I've been kind of meaning to like tinker with it some more. It's definitely a very complicated card to work with. So probably Rhinos. Is Keruga just beans with Suspend? That would have been a good go live notification. Golos, TP, the 7 months, thank you, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. It's a little experiment here. The whole draw step pause on the Fire Ice is a little sussy-wussy. Full ashamed to check out YouTube videos. I mean, mostly it's just like VOD uploads, so if you watch the stream, you're not missing a ton. But I do like a set review every set. Would an Archdruid be strictly better than Cosmium, or am I overvaluing the card? I mean, they do very different things. It's not strictly better. I think there'll be a bunch of Rhino hate in Denver because of the Euro results. I mean, was there not a lot of Rhino hate in Europe? I haven't like looked super hard at the deck list, but like, what is this draw? What is this draw step ice? This like tank ice in 10 minutes? I don't know. What are we doing here? RN Twitch Prime, thank you, welcome back. Yeah, like you just always ice on upkeep. I feel like the draw step is like, I want to see what you draw for turn, pretty likely. I almost don't know what else it could mean, but there's a chance, I don't know, they're just goofing around too. But you also like just don't have a better, just ice on upkeep, even if you're ghosting. Like, come on. It's really not that tough. They pitch a Lrien Revealed. I think I am going to Solitude just once on my turn here. I guess the hand is still a little seen. But also, I kind of like to, like, when opponents play really slowly like this and they do something sus, if you just throw up the hand hider and then all of a sudden their pace of play, like, drastically increases, it can get a little bit more idea of what's going on, if that makes sense. We gotta use the second Solitude here. Thought they have Violent Outburst, I think that would have been cast. And I thought they have Shardless Agent, I think that would have been cast. They do find their fourth land here. Sorry, I should have got a try in there. Oopsie doopsie. We don't know that they're sniping for sure, but it was just like a lot of like long pauses, and then like on turn 2 they had ice, and then they went to my draw step, and then they paused for like 30 seconds, and so I put up the hand hider, and they started playing faster. So we're just gonna have the hand hider up for now. Obviously, don't know for sure what's going on, but. Specifically when Rhinos knows your exact hand, it is tough. That was 3 Triumphs feeling. It's like I feel like it's got to be correct here. Yeah, I agree. The worst part about sniping is how like your opponent's like, not that my opponent is 100% right, but if my opponent did pause 2 minutes to like come into the stream, look at the hand, then go to my draw step, wait 30 seconds for like the stream delay to look at my hand after I draw, like, just fucking ice me, dude. Just cast your ice on turn 2. What else are you gonna do? It's just so silly. But again, my opponent could just be, you know, playing weird for some other reason and cashing strays. Okay, so 3 cards in their hand. I'm down to 5. One of my cards is Keruga. The main phase of Deluge could run this into a hardcast Force of Negation. Would be not super ideal, but I think I should still main phase it. Okay, got. My other card is dead. Go 5/4. Not quite as good as Gigantha, I guess. Dismember. Tidebinder. So I'm going to go down to 2. They're going to drop the 2 cards in their hand. Close. No outs. No outs. Okay, I'm gonna cut the dead guns. I'm gonna bring in the lockdowns. And I want to play the disputes too. Yeah, main deck Dismember seems pretty good in Rhinos. I can't remember if we played it in our Rhinos list at Barcelona or not, but seems good. Go down at least one, probably 1 Subtlety. I think down a Binding. Down a Fire Ice. And hiding for leagues. We had some sus behavior, so I'm just gonna have it up for this match. Keep my 7. This is also just like a super sometimes like if my opponent is ghosting, it just doesn't matter that much. This matchup is like with like the pitch cards and the disputes, and like it just almost couldn't matter more. You know what I mean? Yeah, 4 Ego, 4 Lrien, because you can't play fetch lands. So spins of footfalls. Yeah, video recording not done. Not sure when it will be done, but I am working on it. So much to cover. So they main phase fetch? And this time they upkeep ice. I'm gonna dispute this, I think. Archon of Mary versus Rhinos? I mean, that card is a good card against Rhinos. I agree. No Solitude, no Binding, no Lockdown, unfortunately, here. So I'm down to 12. Drew a card. A plan, kind of. Well, this was not really part of my plan. Oh, they also have dispute. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is my hand. We lose. The ice really got me, so I couldn't Tidebinder their first Cascade spell. We would not trophy. Play for 4-1. Mulligan. Gotta go 5. Once playing Kihira, I definitely like my chances against basically every Kihira deck. And I like this hand well enough too. I think I may put back the... Oh, maybe I should have kept the Lotus Field with the Tidebinders to counter. Although the Tidebinder should just be super good. My thinking was that being able to just like Tidebinder fetch lands, Tidebinder against most Kihira decks would be really good. Why did I cite out Force of Negations against Rhinos? I just didn't bring them in, but I think Force of Negation is like pretty mediocre at best against Rhinos. Maybe we should have had it in, but I think one thing is that it can be like really easy to over sideboard against like their Rhino plan and you just like lose to Subtleties and Murktides and stuff. We brought in 4 lockdowns against their Rhino plan. We have 4 Tidebinders against the Cascade stuff. We also have disputes. But like Force of Negation is only like okay against Shardless Agent, but even when they go Agent into Rhinos, you're still like kind of 3-for-1ing yourself. It's not really something I'm usually super happy to like that was an exchange that happened. I Force of Negation to Rhinos. It's like kind of like I'm trying to stay alive, but I'm down 2 cards and you have a 2/2 in play. It's kind of not great. Sometimes, you counter Violent Outburst end of turn. It's pretty bad against their disputes, too. Okay, so Tidebinder lines up pretty well against this, I suppose. They have a Solitude, kind of in for an interesting dance. Is Force not better than Subtlety? Subtlety is better. Subtlety lines up well against Subtlety and Tidebinder. Like those are 2 cards that are really good. And like what's nice is Subtlety is something you can fight with on your turn. Instead of Force of Negation is like so hard to fight with on your turn. And Rhinos like plays on your instep in most games. Like that is the majority of gaming you do against Rhinos is on your instep. Any plans for trophy race? Where's that one done? Well, we did 2 trophy races. I don't know. I think Magic right now is too interesting, and like competitive play is too interesting to like do a trophy race. The trophy race was like a large way to like generate some fun and generate some interesting things, but it just doesn't feel like we are in that era any longer. I'm just gonna binding this. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I thought I had to pay 3 for this. I don't know. I'm gonna also cycle the ice, I suppose. Bloodstone would be a nice pickup. Also, my opponent played 2 basic planes. I guess that's possible. My opponent has just gone Triumph, Plains without fetching once. Could also like maybe binding the protection trigger, be able to crack in for 6. Image 3 trophy race. You do not. Image 3 is literally the worst time for a trophy race. Like trophy, like you can either have cool, interesting, innovative brews that I work really hard in, or you can see mindless, brainless Spike grinding for 16 hours a day the same decks over and over and over again. It's just like the content is better when it's brews. Yeah, the problem with countering the trigger there is that they still get to draw a card, and if they have a removal spell for Tidebinder, we still have to binding the ring anyways. Okay, 4 cards in their hand. Did multiply this game. I think we just Keruga. New Living in Bills, why are you playing it? I have like a start of a draft that doesn't look very good. I think it's likely more better in Legacy. I do like the Descend card. I think that card's really nice, but probably much worse than regular Living In. Probably go to game 2 in a sec. Things get a lot better post board. You get to cut the fires. Triumph, Plains, Natty is so funny. Yeah, if they counter this, we'll pack it up, I think. I might just have 2 again. Thought for sure I haven't hit 4 types. That's 5. Snap, Concede. Hopefully we can keep a 6 or 7 card hand, huh? To bring in a lot of counter magic here. Probably just cutting all of my Solitudes. Don't know if I want Elesh, Norn. They still have Teferis in their deck. Yeah, Subtlety hitting their Planeswalkers feels like a really big game. Yeah, this looks like the right build here. Yeah, let me pull up the Living In stuff. So, yesterday there was a player who had this Legacy Living In deck that they trophied with that looked pretty interesting and like was playing like mostly modern cards. Like they're playing, not exactly, but seemed like maybe portable. The big thing here is like Whale of the Forgotten. Like that card is really good if it's turned on, right? This is a 2-drop. If you have 8 or more permanents in your graveyard, you get to bounce a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, make an opponent discard a card, and then look at the top 3 cards of your library, put the rest of them into the graveyard. And what's cool to me about this list is that this card is like very good at turning on Delirium early. Like it's a good card to draw early, and it's a really good card to draw late. Very good at turning on Delirium, very good for digging for Bloodbrain Marauder, and you get to play 2 drops in this deck, and you get to play like instead of playing Charlotte's Agent Violent Burst, you get to play Bloodbrain Marauder, and you get to like also scam Grief with Persist in Modern, or like turn 2 Troll, and you can play Counterspell. Play Counterspells, could also play Remand. Remand is a card I think could be good in this shell. But I have like kind of an early draft. Like these are kind of like roughly the cards I want to be playing. These are just roughly the cards I want to be playing, and then I just don't know that the deck is going to look very good. But this is going to be something we probably have to test off stream. And if I test it off stream and ends up performing better than expected, great. If not, this will be a fun legacy idea probably that just doesn't quite make the cut. Remand's so good against Cascade. Well, what's nice is like Remand in this deck too is like you get to like remand your Bloodbrain Marauder if they counter your Living In, or if you feel like you can't remand the counter spells super effectively. Does it only have 4 Cascaders? Yeah, that's also that's the big problem too. And like you're also like you don't have your Violent Outburst, Force of Negation draws. You're not as good at churning through your deck. There's a lot of problems. You can also play Inti in this deck, and like Inti plus all the cyclers is kind of cool. But I'm not sure about that. You also have like a ton of bricks off the Inti. Here's what happens when you play a lot of cyclers. Okay, I'm gonna grab Steedman's here, I think. That's your enemy dead being an enchantment is certainly a big deal. Yeah, that's Legacy. I don't think Bloodbraid Marauder is a timeless legal card. Yeah, Daze and Forcible are also so much better. So again, there's just a lot to like dislike about the modern build. So I don't know that it's gonna make the stream, but a lot of stuff doesn't make the stream. I'll work on it. Mom with the 31 months, thank you, welcome back. Oh, Marauder isn't timeless, cool. But Living End isn't, got it. Nice draw. Also nice that their fetch lands are all off. Alk with the 9 months, thank you. Worm with the 8 months, thank you as well. Glad y'all are liking the stream. Okay, so combining that next turn. Artifact creature cycled isn't timeless though. Yeah, they're missing, you know. That's a ton, it seems. Any Devoted Druid shells with the new red-green card? I mean, I don't know. I don't really like the new red-green card that much, but and I also don't really like Devoted Druid that much. It's just asking a lot, I think. My opponent, I guess they did draw 2 fetch lands this game. The best timeless deck would be a Bobble DRC deck and set up Marauder with Brainstorm. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But also this this like brew here, like we don't necessarily need to be Living End here. Like I'm mostly excited that like Wail of the Forgotten seems like you're really happy to cast it early and you're really happy to cast it late. Like could you find a similar shell that can trigger Descend for this? This is something I'm interested in. So they probably have Counter Spell here. If I hardcast the Subtlety, I don't really want it to get countered. Let me Dispute, I think. That worked. I mean, they didn't counter the Dispute. But I would kind of think that they have another counter here. So I think we just put Keruga in our hand and pass. Yeah, I'm going to try to have the review up by tonight, but I don't know. Just when it happens, I just end up like having some technical issues, recording, busy weekend. So much to do. I think we wait on the binding. Maybe even Tidebinder the ring draw. A double Tidebinder. I kind of like that. Does really feel like they're repping Counterspell too. Like, would they counter the Tidebinder? Can we get that out of the hand so we can get this Keruga going? This deck would be good for the Evidence mechanic. Yeah, I also don't understand how all stream today. People are like, someone asks, "Is the video out?" And then I answer, and then like literally 10 seconds later, there's the same question in the chat. I know people just popping in and asking, or if there's delay, but it's not out yet. Not out yet. I'm glad. I'm very glad y'all are interested and excited for it. Maybe we should have evoked. No, I know it can't evoke here. I'm glad y'all like the videos. They put Narset on the bottom, which I guess I'm happy with. That was, I think, a good draw for them. Now we can cast Keruga with protection. This could have attacked first, but hopefully we get to draw 4. Wow, I didn't even have to use my force. That's 4 spells. That's 4 spells. I think it would be obvious. I guess the Teferi just does resolve. They could have dispute. I mean, just like even if they counter this, we're super ahead. But yeah. Okay, going to game 3. Any changes? I don't really think so. I think our plan seems good. Alright, let's keep. So we go like Steam Vents plus Abzan Triome maybe? Or should we go... Can't get Steam Vents off of this. I guess we can go Steam Vents Zagoth though. I can't get Zagoth for this stuff. You find this is a lot better than the blue-red version? Yeah, I didn't like the blue-red version as much. Why did they... Oh, sorry, just their own Lrien Revealed. What Solitude deck you played recently you like the best? Probably the Jeskai Ephemerate deck still. I think the Goryo's Ephemerate deck is good. I'm still kind of interested in like the mono white like Sunken Citadel Field Ganjo Ring Reprieve deck. I kind of like that one. There was another one also. Oh, the Esper Scam deck. Like I don't know. I feel like the vibes are really good on it. I feel... Oh, what if we played Whale of the Forgotten in that deck? That's probably... We're a little lost in the sauce. Yeah, the Esper and the Esper Persist deck. Sorry, I just trying to find. I don't know why I can't find the list. It's in the, I was blow up in the Mox Field. Is Whale ever good here? What's our permanent count is really high. 24 plus 18, 42. Yeah, Whale might be better than Shadow Prophecy. So, to me, it feels like something exciting to try. Oh no, I meant to cycle Eagles. Fuck, last turn. A big oopsie doopsie. So the Subtlety pitch up though, not really the end of the world. After you clear my deck list, I'd probably delete like 2 decks a day. And like build 3. Maybe not quite that much, but I try to delete like at least some every day as I go through. There's some I definitely keep for, oh no, sentimental reasons though. I think Thing in the Ice is well positioned. Maybe. I don't think it would be super well positioned at the very least. You mean one thing with big... You can't just play Archon in the deck is the problem. Like, Archon is not, like, just... You can't just play them. You need to have, like, 6 looters. It's, like, 10 slots or something in the deck. It's just too much. Post-combat land, huh? Or post-Teferi land. Yeah, what is Invasion of Troll Wow? Troll la la la. Dang, no. No untapped land for Teferi, and no binding. Tough. Tough indeed. Thinking playing Whale on turn 2 seems real slow, so you kind of need a way to make up for that. Maybe Solitudes are enough. I don't know, maybe. Maybe. I kind of feel like the deck is probably really good at descending 8. It's obviously, you know, the appeal or whatever. Rogue with the 18 months, thank you so much. Welcome back. Must be nice. Got pitch all our cards and they got a freaking ring in play. They maybe won't tap it because kind of ripping the Tidebinder up. I think I just do have to kind of lean in on this Teferi. They play Raugrin Triome. They don't tap it yet. Still have Keruga. Right time to tap it just then for sure. Probably minusing. Okay, conceding. Tough. Okay, 3-0 to 3-2 feels less than good. I'm kind of excited about the testing Whale in the Esper deck. Let's try that. I think, you know, don't need to play too many leagues of the Jeskai deck.